Bopoma constituency. He has served in the House of Assembly before. He's a seasoned politician. He's a Central Committee member in Bulawayo Province. And he's someone who is a known member of the Bulawayo community at large. We expect the most as a province and as a party. We expect the most from our candidates because of his experience and the way he's known in the community he's seeking to represent. We are coming from general elections, more by-elections and more. So we are very prepared in terms of campaign preparedness. This is something where as an organization we're very used to. We have a very robust campaign machinery. So we're confident that our candidates will make it through. So far, we're on the Bulawayo scene as such. The by-elections have been friendly to us. We've picked up most of the by-elections we have run. If you look at the numbers right now, in terms of MPs, we are ahead. We even picked up a couple of councillors in the by-election. So we are quite confident. The nice thing, or if I can say the nice thing, a by-election, it's in my opinion, it allows an electorate to really scrutinize the candidate as an individual. What you find is that in Zimbabwe, our politics, in my personal opinion, this is now not an official party opinion, but in my personal opinion, it's very polarized. People vote for parties. People don't vote for people in Zimbabwe. I find the by-election gives an opportunity for people to actually analyze a person as a candidate without all the dressing and the bells and the noise and whatever. A by-election allows the electorate to actually scrutinize the individual. So in a situation like this, it seems to be favorable, I can say, to us. Whether that's because our candidates are of more substance, I don't know, but it seems that the by-election setup where an individual candidate is being scrutinized seems favorable to us. What that says about our political environment, I'll leave the very able press people to come up with their own conclusion about that. But yeah, in a nutshell, I think that's what I have to say about the by-election. Thank you.
As a majority, and then we will have an amendment. But also what we can do, instead of going the way of amending the constitution, is to come up with a piece of legislation that will detail some of the things that are required, some of the tests, the standards that are required to be met by those that are making recalls. Really to be very specific on who in the political party is entitled to make a recall. Whether it is an individual, it is the president, it is the secretary general, or the law can even go further to require that the highest deliberative body in that organization must have said and agreed on a recall. That would be another way of really regulating these things. I do not have the answers on that one, but what I can see from afar is that the debate that has been triggered by the recalls for and against require a detailed piece of legislation. The Constitution cannot provide all the details, the nitty-gritty and so forth. But through a piece of legislation, you can actually do that. It can be known as the Recalls Act or whatever. Then it will go down through all the, how do you recall a member of parliament, a member of a councillor and so forth. What is it that is required to be proved in terms of the authenticity of the recall, whether or not it is that sort of a thing. And it can also be, I think, just a letter to the speaker, and then that's enough, might need to be addressed by the piece of legislation to say, you sit there, probably the Committee on Standing Rules and Orders might come in itself for recalls, because it is representative of different political parties, that at least that recall is also debated in that. But they are not going to stop the political party from making the recall, because it is the right in our current constitutional environment, that a political party can recall its member, and it simply needs to say you are no longer acting in the best interest of the political party, undefined interest of the political party, and that's enough. The speaker's responsibilities there are very clerical in nature. That you receive, you announce, you receive, you announce, just like that. But the piece of legislation will go further to say what additional checks and balances need to be brought to bear in order to avoid the kind of polarizing debate that we are having in the country. Because this is not at all, this is not about Chabang, Chamisa and so forth. I think it is more about Zimbabweans. Because it's not Chabang's resources, Chamisa's resources, Zanu-PF resources, CCC resources that are being utilized when we have recalled. It is Zimbabwean resources. I was listening to some economists yesterday who were saying it is actually possible that some of the price hikes that we saw in the market were triggered by the additional money supply on the by-elections. So it's not a small thing as we view it. It affects the economy, it affects many things. This is not to say on my part that the recalls were wrong or right and so forth. There are people to speak on to that one. But my side is, as the question was posed, we need a piece of legislation with greater detail. That's very important.
I feel it's incumbent upon the party itself to then sort itself out in such a manner that it then ring fences, the vote. Because the person who's disenfranchised now beyond the political party is the person who voted that individual into office.
Okay,